Hi, I'm Roger and welcome back to the Tractor Tech channel. I want to thank everyone for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. The last time I had the covers off the split-second log splitter doing maintenance on it, noticed that the belts were starting to look a little bit rough, and I'm also just about out of adjustment for the tension on the belts. So it's time to put new belts on it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I have a different style belt that I'm going to be putting on it that will hopefully be an upgrade. So go ahead and remove these covers and we'll take a look at the old belts and the new belt that I'm going to be installing. So here's what it looks like on the inside. Turn the engine over. You can see right there, the splitter was originally equipped with Gates belts. And the model number was 2730. So it's currently running 2 belts. But the problem with these belts is when you're running a dual belt setup on anything, you can't ever get the tension equal. It's a little bit hard to demonstrate, but one belt is always going to have a little more tension than the other. This belt here seems to be the looser belt. The old belts are starting to crack, even fray just a little bit there, so I want to go ahead and replace them. I could probably squeeze by with them, but if they go down while I'm splitting wood, it's going to end up costing me more in the long run. So for the upgrade, I'm going from 2 V-belts to 1 single belt that is a double V-belt. If you're familiar with some of the Kubota BX series mower decks, they run this style belt also. So now, when I tension it, I'll have even tension on both belts, which make things a lot better. Then another problem you have is the tracking of the belt. Here, of course, we have a pulley with a V-groove on it down there, or 2 V-grooves on the engine. But the flywheel doesn't have any belt grooves, just like every other Kinetic log splitter. And it's really hard to get these belts running straight. So this double V belt should simplify that also. So now I need to loosen the tensioner, loosen the 4 engine mounting bolts, take the tension off the belt, and see if this new belt's going to work. This belt was about $40, where 2 of these belts are about $15 a piece. Now I'll slide the engine forward. The belts can be slipped off the flywheel. Alright, now I'm ready to try to slip the new belt into place. My idea of this banded V-belt is not going to work. I learned a lot about V-belts in the last half of an hour. When I looked up this belt, all the specs matched up. The old belt, this belt is an A71. A is like the profile or shape of the V. That is like a traditional V-belt, I guess probably like an automotive V-belt. This belt that it was originally equipped on the splitter is a 4L730. The 4L is the shape of the belt or the profile of the belt. Like I say, all the specs match it up. The 4L means that the belt is a 1/2 of an inch wide. 1L would be an 1/8 of an inch. You can see that this belt doesn't even want to go down in the pulley. This is a heavier duty belt. The belt off of the original belt is considered a light duty belt by an industrial application. You can see the difference in the belt there. Both these belts are 1/2 inch wide by 3/16 tall, and they're the same length, but the shape of the V is different. And there's not a 4L banded double V belt that I can find anywhere, so I'm just going to go back to these 2 single belts. Thankfully, I'd ordered these 2 single belts and then ordered this belt, so I already had these on hand, so I can go ahead and put them on and I can send this belt back. Also took a rag and some brake cleaner and cleaned the pulley grooves out on this clutch because there was some belt debris in there, so everything is in good shape now. There's a bushing on the engine, a bronze bushing. While I've been working on this, I had it soaking in an oil bottle because bronze absorbs oil to help preserve the bushing. On the right is the old belt, on the left is a new belt. You can see how much the old belt is worn. Alright, I'm going to slip my 2 new V-belts onto the clutch because the clutch goes on this way, so you have to slip both of them on, and then they go on the flywheel from the right side, so you can't really do one at a time. Well, I have the belts tensioned, and as you can see, the covers are back on, so this thing's ready to go out and be put to work, but it's dark now. My original plan for this video was to throw the banded V-belt on there, go out and run it some, see how it does, see if it needed adjusted. I have some hickory that I need to split and get out of the way to get ready to do some boiler wood for a customer. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go forward with this video after my idea didn't work because I thought I had a upgraded belt for the splitter, but that didn't work. But I like to do real videos on my channel, and this is something that I really did, and I learned a lot about the belts. I don't want to be one of those channels where I only show the good stuff, so to speak. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but some channels, every time they review something, it's always a good product. They never ever review anything bad, or some channels never ever do anything wrong. And I don't want to be like that. I want to show real stuff that I'm doing, and maybe somebody else will learn something a little bit about these belts and not make the same mistake that I made when they go to order a belt for something. You need to run this splitter some. It's not going to be tonight, and run it through a heat cycle or 2, and then check the belt adjustment. Hopefully I've got things good, but I won't be surprised if these Gates belts stretch a little bit after they've been used some and need to be adjusted again. I only adjusted these belts maybe like 3 or 4 times after the first adjustment because I know any belt's going to stretch when it's new. So I think I probably adjusted them 3 to 4 times in the life of those belts. And a couple of those times may have been unnecessary because I don't want to run the belts too tight because you're pulling the engine back to increase the tension on the belts. And when you're doing that, you're putting more load on the crank bearing on the engine. So I don't want to tension it too tight and prematurely wear out the crank bearing on the PTO side of the engine. I have a new schedule that I'm trying to stick to, trying to upload 1 new video 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, and then I do a short video on 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday evenings. So be on the lookout for my videos. Thanks for watching this video.